Mr. Huff, Mr. Jenner is ready for your interview.
Actually, we'll be interviewing as a team. We're here to fuck shit up.
I'm a better rapper after like Barrymore. Hold up, let me reset. Living in the matrix, use the sequence. I cracked the code, popped out the subnet. Walk around like I found a 20, that's a dubstep. Living in the moment, did you notice that ain't up yet? You can put the pressure on me, I ain't dropping one sweat. Used to be stressed hard, beat it like a drum set. Breathe, stretch, let it go. Everybody need a refresh, go. Yeah. Come on, let's go. I don't know what comes next, but I couldn't care less. I refuse to feel stress. There's no fear in my chest. Hit a move with my stance. Walk away from the pain I've been through. This feeling I'm feeling is brand new. This is the moment I break through.
Yeah. Fuck it. I can't scroll fast enough. I can't do it. So we're just gonna jump right in, guys. What is up, man? It's your boy Tvshka, and I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
On my freaking phone, because this hot piece of shit won't work. But anyways, what does work is this guy, Josh, you work. What's up, man? What's going on, you employed son of a bitch?
I know, man. I'm employed. Yeah. Knock on the wood, because you know how it works these days. Anyway, I'm also not getting paid for this, but I still love being here, which is why we come here for you all every single week on this glorious Monday night, sweating away these fantasy football Monday night games, while also giving you all our insight on whether or not what you should do and who you should get in fantasy football.
Yeah, and what you should, at least what I need to get, is a new capture card, because I didn't want to work with me tonight.
Allegedly.
But yeah, no, what is working is the Ravens offense and pretty much defense too. I mean, kind of holding up the Buccaneers, who've been hot this year, 4-2, and I'm loving this, man. Peyton Eli, we got Ed Reed on there, dude.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the OGs, one of the greats. But yeah, man, let's kick this off, bro. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's get it going, bud.
Derrick Henry is a monster.
Oh my God.
Is he gone? Oh no, they took him out. Okay.
Dude. Okay, yeah.
I thought he was
slightly behind you, but yeah. Yeah, if you didn't pick up Derrick Henry in the first round, you're an idiot.
I know. Who would ever give someone crap for taking Derrick Henry first round?
Oh my God, dude.
I didn't give him crap. I was skeptical.
Oh, did it? Yeah. I mean, we all were. But that's actually a better choice than picking up CMC in the first round. But this is the first pick or the second pick.
Or Tyreek Hill.
Far better. Because man, running backs are doing it, bud. I mean the thumbnail. I mean, it may not have been up there that long, but that says it all. The running is back, baby. Running is back, and we had a plethora of running scores and touchdowns. I mean, even just with working on that intro video, I captured all of the running touchdowns, and I still had to cut like half of them, man, because there's so much. And that's actually very evident in the top 10. So let's go ahead and hop to it, man. Because 7 of the 10 overall top 10 before these games started, folks, before the game started, because Lamar is a running back and he's going to be in the top 10 as well.
He's not a running back. Don't you start.
Hey, it's already been started. But who started and finished with 32 fantasy points? And again, folks, you're watching full PPR, which really didn't make too much of a difference for this gentleman. Jahmyr Gibbs, man, going off, getting 32 points off of 15 rush attempts for 116 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then also getting 4 for 4 of receptions and targets for 44 yards.
We have new nicknames. We have new nicknames. This is from the Lions. This is not from fantasy footballers or anybody else. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are being known as Sonic and Knuckles, and I love it.
That's good. I like it. So is Gibbs Sonic? I mean,
yes.
Who's Sonic and who's Knuckles?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely. Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely Sonic.
Okay,
and
good. Yeah.
David Montgomery's definitely Knuckles because he's fast, but he still lays the wood. Whereas Jahmyr Gibbs is fast.
Yeah, Gibbs is that fast. You know who else lays the wood is Saquon Barkley, dude. Coming in second with 27 points, 17 rush attempts for 176 yards. 1 touchdown, and then 2 receptions off 3 targets and for 11 yards. Then you also got Joe Mixon down there, actually not in Houston, but actually in Green Bay for Houston, getting 26 points, 25 rush attempts, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then also 2 of 3 receiving for 9 yards. And then Breece Hall, our boy Breece, finally showing up and doing something, man.
Hey, the Triple B showed up this week. Breece, Bijan, and Brian. They all 3. Now, Brian, not as much. He's not in the top 10, but he still was solid this week as far as running backs are concerned.
Huh. I knew the Bees is something different. I thought it was like beer, burgers, and boobs, something like that. Anyways,
Better Business Bureau.
but and then right behind him, Javonte Williams, Denver. If you pick him up off the waiver wire and played him this week, congratulations! What a great selection, because getting 26 points as well, 14 rush attempts for only 88 yards, but getting 2 touchdowns and then 3 receptions for 23 yards. And that's like the first batch of running backs, man. They're all standouts, but who's really sticking out to you, and why is it Breece Hall? Because he's on your team?
Yeah. No. Obviously, Breece and Bijan. Bijan, the 2 weeks in a row has put up. Now, granted, it was against the Carolina Panthers.
Well, we haven't got to Bijan yet, so.
Oh, sorry.
Gibbs,
but no,
Gibbs, Hall, and Williams. Yeah.
Gibbs benefited. Is Derek going to get in from a? Okay, all right. Derek got in, and then Lamar threw the ball. So that's 5 touchdowns for Lamar Jackson, and he's on that MVP kick again.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Derek are 1A and 1B. It's ridiculous.
Dude,
what?
It's a quarterback award, so we know who's going to get it.
Yeah,
out of those 2, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like that for college football. But that's not why we're here. But yes, for Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery scared me a little bit. He did get hurt, but he came back in the game. But no, this is what I was expecting. David Montgomery still gets the goal line carries and stuff like that, but Jahmyr is just a different animal. Saquon, he was pissed off because he played the Giants. This is what I was expecting. I was expecting Saquon to come out there and do that $172 that he did. And Joe Mixon is Mr. Consistency as far as running backs is concerned. I think he's the most consistent running back in the league right now as far as fantasy production. Do I think he's the best running back? No, he's never been the quote-unquote best running back. Obviously, Derrick Henry is probably more consistent than Joe is right now, but Joe's right there in that conversation compared as far as consistency is concerned. So if I have Joe Mixon, obviously Gift Taylor over here with Gibbs and Mixon. Gibbs a little more hit and miss. Mixon, if you had Mixon and Henry, might as well just mail you the trophy, which is well deserved. You've been right there the whole time for our fantasy lives.
It definitely does have Henry, but yeah.
No. But yeah, and as far as Breece, with Devontae Adams being added to the team, I think this kept the secondary honest, so they can't just stack the box against Breece. I don't care how bad the Jets are. If you have Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, and Devontae Adams with Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, Breece is going to get his now. This is the Breece we're expecting. And I think we're going to hopefully see consistency out of Breece now going forward. Now, once Devontae finally gets more acclimated as the season goes on, as long as they don't quit, which could happen.
Yeah, for Javonte Williams.
I don't know about that one.
Is he still like running back 3, or does that bump him up to 2?
He's a good flex, obviously.
No.
If it depends on your roster, but McLaughlin's still there. Not McLaughlin. I forget who the other. Yeah, I think it was McLaughlin. Was still there for Denver, but freaking Bo Nix runs the ball 20 times a game. It feels like too. So Javonte just happened to get, and the Saints are terrible. Let's just call it space. The Saints are bad.
They are.
And
they're definitely on the target list.
Rashid Shaheed, obviously, we'll go into him with the injuries, and then Alvin Kamara is asking for a trade, and everyone's hurt on their wide receiver core. So the Saints are just not very good. So that's why I'm saying I don't know how to take Javonte Williams at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for context, week 1 he only got 3 points. Against Pittsburgh, he got 11.5. Then back down to 6 against Tampa Bay, 10 against the Jets, 16 against the Raiders, and then 4.6 versus the Chargers last week, and then this week, 26.10. So definitely this is the ceiling. You know, how often will this happen? I mean, they play Carolina next, then Baltimore, Kansas City, the Falcons, Raiders again. So, I mean, and then the Browns. I mean, even though they supposedly have a good defense, that team seems like they're kind of a little bit in shambles as well. But yeah. I mean, think about your own risk. But if you're hurting, I mean, if you got some injuries, that might be a well-worthy pickup right there. But coming up behind Devontae Williams is Amon-Ra St. Brown, our first non-running back in the top 10 this week, getting 25 points off of 8 receptions for 8 targets, 112 yards and 1 touchdown. Sorry, a little fly jumping around me. And then welcome back, Russell Wilson. What the hell is going on? Russell Wilson in the top 10 in his first week back, getting 25 points. 3 rushing attempts for 3 yards and 1 touchdown, but then 16 of 29 passing for 264 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm going to pause right there because that is definitely well worth talking about. I mean, is this just a fluke? Is it, like you said, I mean, is it just playing a terrible defense, or
it's the Jets defense? It's not terrible. They're not as good as they have been. They're missing Robert Salah right now. As far as that defense just clicked a little bit more when Robert was there. But this is what the Russell Wilson we were kind of expecting.
My brain still has him as Denver. Yeah.
No. He's a Steeler now.
Yep. I was like, dude, they just played New Orleans.
No, that's Bo Nix, dog. But yeah, so he definitely is somebody that I'm looking to possibly. I'll put it this way: if I'm a George Pickens owner, I'm excited because you finally have a facilitator of the ball. As much as you want to sit there and say, "Why did they?" Mike Tomlin is one of the greatest post-game pressers of all time. He just always will be. They literally asked him. They were like, "So, how did you come to the decision of?" Even after Justin Fields did what he did to still start Russ, and he goes, "That's why I get well compensated. Thank you." That's all he said. Like that was his response. Like he knew once Russ got back, that offense was going to click better than with Justin Fields. And honestly, I agree with it. After seeing that first half was not good. The second half, they finally settled down, got within the offense, figured out what worked, made the adjustments, and played really well. And if Justin Fields was playing that game, I don't think the Steelers win that game. I don't. Russ just gives you that. And fantasy wise, I don't know if they have enough firepower to be like, oh, I want Russell Wilson over Jared Goff or something of that. He's still in that weird mix of them. I'm more excited for George Pickens than Russell Wilson.
Yeah. And I mean, talking about defenses, looking at the Jets, they are number 6 and, allowing the fewest yards. So they've allowed 1,285 yards. Guess who number 1 on this list is? Just purely yards alone have allowed the least amount of passing yards.
The least amount of passing yards? I don't know. Chargers?
The Miami Dolphins. Yeah.
Oh. Well, shout out Jalen Ramsey, I guess. Earning that paycheck. You can't stop him. You can't. I mean, they played Anthony Richardson this week. I mean, of course they're going to have.
Yeah,
just put a zero allow.
Run on you, they're not going to pass.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was just alarming to see that. It's like, wait, what the hell? But yeah, I mean, that's in the turnovers. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, allowing over 2,000 yards so far in passing off as a defense, allowing passing yards. Are coming the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2,020 yards as week 7.
They're so bad.
Yeah, they've allowed
they won
touchdowns and have only gotten 1 interception.
They're so bad in pass defense. They're not. Yeah. They're not terrible. They're definitely a bottom feeder of the league as far as overall teams. But as we saw in London, they're not as bad as the Patriots, and we still scratch our heads being like, how did the Bengals lose to that?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely some weird times this year. We're still in the upside down, folks. It's still 2024. Just because we haven't done a video on it. But so that's Russell Wilson. Coming in behind him, we're back to the running backs, baby. Tank Bigsby. Welcome to the top 10.
My guy, Tank Bigsby.
My guy. Yeah. Should have drafted him.
Yeah.
Getting 24 points off of 26 carries, 418 yards, and collecting 2 touchdowns there. Also getting one target pass intercept, but didn't get it.
Looking on Sleeper there, how is he rostered in what 95% of leagues? Or 100%?
Really good. I'm so exhausted trying to figure out this tech stuff. Yeah, that's a good question there. I feel like he's rostered in a decently high percentage. Looks like 72% rostered and 34% started.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect him to be. If I had Tank Bigsby, I definitely would have flexed him because I knew Travis Etienne was out. So it was just like a type of thing there. I know people were kind of joking because he was such a dud last year. It was so bad because Travis Etienne was showing that. So you figured Travis Etienne maybe take another step, or at least be the consistency that he was. And he's not been very good. I think he's been banged up or something. Whereas Tank, every time he touches the ball, he just has that extra. He was just he's been electric this year. So this doesn't surprise me that he was doing this. I mean, if people would have, commented in being like, should I start Tank Bigsby or X? I would have contemplated that based off the matchup alone. And there you go. He showed out.
Yeah, talking about last year, 2023, he played 17 games and got 22.8 total fantasy points.
Yeah, he was
this year in 7 games, really just 2 games. He's got 69.3. So he's already doubled, nearly tripled. Actually, he has tripled his average. That's crazy. But for context for this year, though, 23.8 this weekend. Last weekend, 2.4. The weekend before that, 25.9. Before that, 9, and then 0.9. So not even 1 point, then 0, then 7.3. So very low floor.
Super low floor. That's why I was wondering how much he was rostered. I figured he'd be rostered a lot more based off of Etienne's injury and them playing the Patriots. So I figured it'd be in the 90 percentile. 72 is not bad, but I'm just surprised. I'm like, I don't know. And again, when we're looking at the percentage of rosters, I don't know if it's an all of Sleeper, because we're looking at Sleeper app, by the way, guys. If Sleeper wants to sponsor us, we are totally game for that. But we're going to shout you out anyway, unfortunately. But I was surprised he wasn't rostered more because this does not surprise me at all. And I would have had him as my start of the week. Shout out to fantasy footballers that do that.
Yeah, there we go. And then to finish out the top 10 overall, after Tank Bigsby, we got David Njoku tied in the top 10.
Number one receiver on that team now. That's why.
Yeah, I know, right? The only Cleveland Brown to probably do anything, even though Chubb's back. So, but he got 24 fantasy points off of 10 receptions and 14 targets for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. And so definitely welcome back to him. And then we got Bijan Robinson, buddy, 23 points, 21 rushes for 103 yards and 1 touchdown, and then getting 3 receptions off of 5 targets for 40 yards. Man. I mean, so definitely running back heavy at top 10. But when you look at the rest of it, just like using 20 points as a metric, right? So, Robinson got 23. Only 5, 6, I guess probably now 7, depending on, who else besides Lamar Jackson. Quarterbacks have got 20 points. All the top 10 running backs and far more, probably the top 20 running backs have gotten 20 points.
Derek beat. Yeah. Derek's up there with the top 3.
I mean, if not number 2.
Number 2 or number 1, because he has. Anyway, before you started calling Lamar a quarterback, I mean a running back.
See,
he's a quarterback. Okay. Yeah. All right. You put some respect on my buddy. Put some respect on him. Oh, get him off. There you go. Put some respect on him.
Play with your dolls, man. Get it.
It's a bobblehead. It's not a doll. It's a collectible. Anyway,
There were Skittles in there. But anyways, yeah. So wide receivers, it looks like the 18 is kind of like the mean, but on the high side, 25, 22, 22, 21, 20 points. And the reason why we're saying this is because 20 plus 20 is the rarity this week, folks. Running backs, it was more common, but you did have the different Broncos defense getting 22 points, which is nuts. And then I believe Will Lutz, the Denver kicker, getting 18 points, almost getting 20 himself. But overall, man, just a very mid-scoring week. So not too exciting for a lot of people. I know I won my match with 106 points. I mean, yeah. I think we had we had a couple people over 150, but definitely. I got 128 on the day, but anyways, very very mid score wise. Tonight, the Ravens definitely helped out quite a bit of people. So did Baker Mayfield and Evans before Evans got injured. Right. But let's jump to the chat real quick. We got Rendon Dye. Welcome, bud. Make sure you like and subscribe, please. And he says, would you trade Amari Cooper and Bucky for James Conner?
No. I know GIF answer that down there. No.
Yeah.
James Conner's last 4 games have been pretty bad.
Yeah. And I think he's even been on and off kind of questionable because I think I just said him last week. But yeah, man. I mean, Amari Cooper is in a good spot.
It's a great spot. Once he learns if you didn't notice, Keon Coleman, they looked over on his touchdown and he looked at Keon and Keon was like, you got to go this way. And then he scored a touchdown. You could tell Keon was motioning him over.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah. But I mean, pretty much like a Baker Mayfield game, just flying in. Actually, he drove in. I think he drove that 3 or 4 hour drive. The day he found out he was traded, or the day after, and moved. And I've got a touchdown. Yeah, right out the gate. You got to love that for him. But we'll appreciate your question, Rendon. Josh, we're talking about injuries. We're talking about quite a bit of stuff. But how bad is it in these injury streets? Right. How full is the waiting room? We should say.
It's not as bad as it has been, but it keeps piling up. I'll put it that way.
Great.
So we've got Deshaun Watson. If anyone's ever saw Aaron Rodgers or Kevin Durant tear their Achilles, this is exactly what Deshaun Watson did. So he's out for the season, maybe his career. I don't know. After all of his off the field allegations that he's going through, I don't know. He's still going to get $230 million guaranteed. But I think this might help Njoku's of the world, or maybe another receiver for Cleveland, because I think Jameis is getting in there. So it's going to be at least fun to watch. I think Jameis is going to move the ball a little bit better than Deshaun would. Jonathan Taylor, the coach, said that resume practice this week with the divisional matchup with the Texans. So I don't know. I'd probably say he's probably out another week. I think they're gonna throw him there. Juju Smith-Schuster went out, and of course he didn't do anything before he got hurt, and won't be available till week 8. So probably next week or so. On that, Aiden O'Connell. So he's out, but it doesn't matter. There was a 2-quarterback system anyway. So he's gonna be on IR due to a fractured thumb. So it is Gardner Minshew's team. Tua is expected to return. They are expected to play him. He said that I'll listen to Ryan Clark, and he said that Tua met with doctors upon doctors upon doctors upon doctors, and they said that they didn't see any reason why he still shouldn't play football. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV, so I can't give an opinion on whether or not he shouldn't or shouldn't play. I'm just an armchair quarterback like anyone else in that position. If Tua decides to keep playing, that's his choice. And if the team allows him to play and all the medical doctors say that he's good to go, then there you go. If they asked him if he was going to wear those padded helmets, he said no. Again, all to his choice.
Yeah, I could see you playing a doctor on TV, like maybe in Scrubs, right? Like maybe like a doctor in training.
You know, people always. JD was
I mean,
one of the.
you do look like JD's brother a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, number 2. Then we have Rashid Shaheed. He just is like, oh, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
So he's not underwent a full repair of the meniscus Thursday. Will miss the rest of the season. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's how you know that the Saints are done, is because they were like, all right, we're not going to try and risk it for his future. Might as well just go ahead and get this done now. Because a lot of times you'll have those type of meniscus tears or something like that where they'll maybe get like a Band-Aid on it, miss a couple weeks, then try and play through it. If they know the writing's on the wall, they're like, screw it. Just go ahead and let's save this for later and not risk it. Let's not RG3 it.
And that decision came pretty quick because he was questionable. And then all of a sudden he was just immediately IR. And I think like within 24 hours or 48 hours of them kind of getting some of that information, they pull that trigger. And it sucks, man.
Yep.
Debo.
I'm
myself a Shaheed owner. And
we
really
both
sucked.
Yeah. Especially the way they started out the season, those first 2 weeks. Debo, he had an illness, pneumonia, and doesn't have a timeline for when he'll be available again. The fact that he had pneumonia and he was on the sidelines is kind of weird, but he kept coughing and he didn't look right. Like he wasn't hurt. You can just tell he was sick. Like when I saw him running off the field, like he tried to go. He couldn't Jordan flu game, guys. He couldn't Jordan flu game. Brandon Ayuk, as soon as you saw it, you knew it was done. He's torn his ACL. But hey, congratulations, you got your money. I was still cautious. I'm always cautious of the holdouts. I was even cautious of CeeDee Lamb, even though I thought they'd be fine. Jamar Chase was still practicing, whereas Brandon Ayuk was your typical holdout, to where it was going to take him a while to get to game speed, even if you did draft him. And then by the time he gets to game speed, what's that offense going to look like? How is it still going to flow? It seemed like he was starting to pick it up about a couple weeks ago. Tears his ACL this week. So that's why I kind of stayed away from Ayuk, just because I knew it was going to be a slow start. And the draft capital in which you were drafting him just didn't add up by the time he came around. If he dropped to like a 7th round or 8th round, then I would draft him all day. He just was never, that draft capital was never going to be there.
Get quick game update or games. Kyler Murray just ran for a 44-yard rushing touchdown. So that's good news for the running backs. Mm-hmm. And then they just kicked, the Buccaneers just kicked an onside kick, or attempted an onside kick, to say. The Ravens recovered it. We're under the 2-minute warning, and it's 41-31. So a little bit of garbage time scoring. But hey, I mean, they got close enough to actually try to make, attempt at making this a game.
Yeah. Which the Ravens are known to do. They've gone into every fourth quarter up a gajillion and then almost choke it away every single time. But they didn't seem like that's going to happen this week, but there's enough timeouts to where they're going to at least try and make a game out of it. Then speaking about this game, Mike Evans at least got you a touchdown, but then he dropped the ball and immediately grabbed his hamstring, and that was it. Yeah. So we're out there. DK Metcalf has a minor MCL sprain. On that minor MCL, I think it's week to week, probably 2 weeks at most. I would expect him to be out because MCLs are weird. It's a case-by-case basis that I see, because sometimes it's like, oh, they sprained the MCL and he's back next week, or they sprained the MCL and he's out 4 weeks. It's like, because we don't know the severity of it. So it's weird there. And then Jaden Daniels, his mom said he's good, but then they finally came out and did say earlier today that it wasn't cracked, bruised ribs. So Jaden Daniels owners and Washington Commander fans, you can breathe a sigh of relief that Jaden Daniels will probably be back next week. That's all I have for this week's updated injury reports.
Good.
May the injuries be ever in your favor, because they're not in a lot of people's.
No, they're not. And unfortunately, just the overall season injured list gets longer. But I mean, we did get Nick Chubb back this week. right? So we did get a few people back from injury. Russell Wilson, whatever that may be. And I've been paying attention to the game. Did you mention Juju?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Juju.
Yep.
Juju went out early in the game because I started him. I still won. Still won with a goose egg from Juju.
Yeah, good, man. So did the Chiefs. And I'm a Chiefs fan, folks. So
all right,
just telling you from a fan's perspective, do not get these Chiefs players. If it's not Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, honestly, he's probably on that list, probably more so than Travis Kelce.
Let me give you all a stat, not to cut you off. Let me give you all a stat about your Kansas City Chiefs, and mainly Patrick Mahomes, okay, who still is the GOAT in the league. There's no doubt about it. But his stats this year are so bad fantasy-wise.
Yep.
He has more interceptions than touchdowns this year, which is ridiculous. But I watched that game the same as everyone else that watched that game, and he still looked like the best player on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, those 2 runs, good Lord, man.
Oh, God. That where he was acting like he was going out of bounds and then it was so I was like, holy shit, dude. What did he just do?
Yeah. And I think it was last week or maybe the week before. Like he runs in front of his blocker, then runs back and then out. It's like, dude, like he's got that agility, man. He's got those hips.
The Superman little whatever that was.
My favorite today was him hit sticking. Number 6 for the defense. He's a rookie. I can't recall his name right now. Starts with the M, but he had been wrecking us the whole game. He had been laying down some fucking wood whenever he was hitting some of the receivers. And then Mahomes just giving it right back to him was that much more beautiful, especially for a much needed touchdown there.
I was hoping he'd do the step over Allen Iverson on him after he trucked him. I was really good. That's just not Patrick Mahomes.
He did kind of like a little high step and kind of look back but they're starting to call that a lot whenever people step over. But kind of to finish the thought though, and the same probably for some other teams as well as the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are just going to keep their opponents under 20 points. And then they're going to score 23, 28 points. Like that's it, folks. Like you're not going to see, Chiefs versus the Rams from 2019 where it's like 55-43 or something, like something stupid, point total wise. And so
yes, I saw a GIF. Godwin just got hurt in garbage freaking time.
Yep. I didn't know that was Godwin. That was down. Jeez, man. Oh, great. Love it. All of our teams are hurting. Alien base. Yeah. Welcome. Yeah. Unfortunately, he is. Also, what's up? Slap the base. What up? It's like a cello. QB 22 in fantasy. Yeah, he definitely is very low ranked. So for you all, just because they're champions and they win in real life doesn't mean they're good for fantasy. So don't have rose-colored tinted glasses on whenever you're looking at that. Also, don't do that when it's your own favorite team. It's great to cheer for your team and support them, but don't fall into the snare or the trap of going after your teams. Because then whenever they lose and you lose, it's just going to be that much worse of a day.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of check your emotions a little bit when you're looking at fantasy. So that's why you look at the numbers, right? And, there's a lot of truth in those numbers. So, here we are, week 7, right? You're having to deal with injuries, apocalypse are, definitely fast approaching, really already here for some people. I know I had issues with some waiver wire for defense. So didn't really get the defense kind of wanted to kind of cover, had to drop a good one. But kind of going into this next week, into week 8, what are you looking at, Josh?
I am looking at how Amari Cooper is going to progress with the Bills, and what's that going to do for the other receivers, as in Shakir and Keon Coleman. I'm also looking to see if Brock Bowers is still going to be the number 1 receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I say receiver because they got nobody else. So Jacoby Myers is there, but
he's been known to have some flashes.
Brock Bowers had 10 catches for 96 yards this week, and I don't see him not getting those targets every single week. For where I know I'm on my it's a Brock Bowers minute, but That's what I look for there. I look and see if Darnell Mooney is going to bounce back as far as Atlanta and getting that, or is Bijan finally arrived? I look at seeing if CJ Stroud can find out that Tank Dell is still on his team, because that didn't happen for his kind of back and forth as that game was against the Packers. CJ was terrible fantasy output wise, and Tank, I think, had a goose egg. Godwin's on the cart with the air cast, so that's great.
Yeah, so that's season.
Yep.
Good Godwin, man. Yeah, what I'm looking forward to next week, no buys.
Nope.
Week 8, for some reason, don't know why they scheduled shit this way, but week 8, no buys. So maybe just Halloween weekend, they wanted everybody to play. Who knows? But then following that, you got week 9, you got the Steelers and the 49ers. Then week 10, that's when it jumps back up. Then you got the Browns, Packers, Raiders, and Seahawks.
Week 12 is the worst, isn't it?
Week 12 is bad because it has 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the Falcons, Bills, Bengals, Jaguars, Saints, and Jets. But then the following week as well, 14, you got 6. I know for me, 11 really hurts because I have quite a bit of Cardinals and Buccaneers on my team, with my double stacks actually. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm really eager to see what Mark Cooper does. I was really hoping he'd be traded to the Chiefs because we need some people. And not that there may not be, not that there's not going to be any more movement.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the trade waiver.
Like I said, Kamara's asking for a trade, and that won't surprise me if Kamara gets traded.
Who's that?
Alvin Kamara.
Oh, Kamara? Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think the Chiefs will be able to get him. We've got Hunt, and he's definitely being very well serviceable for us, but we've got to have someone in offense as far as wide receivers, because we've even had other injuries to some of the reserves. And then for some reason, Sky Moore still can't catch a fucking ball, man.
Sky Moore's still around?
Yeah.
That's like the worst draft pick
6.
Andy Reid's ever had that I can remember, of just so much potential and nothing.
Yeah. Not sure what it is. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, maturity, or I don't know. Just his hands aren't good enough to catch Hopkins to Kansas City. I would love that. Would love that, Allie.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to make that trade.
Yeah,
but it's not like the Titans are getting any better.
Yeah, no, and honestly, they really probably should have done that instead of just not re-signing Snead. Hopefully, we were hoping they actually would have done it like a full trade and actually get something kind of out of that. But
yeah, it's kind of like the Titans just letting Derrick Henry walk.
Dude, so wild, man.
Yeah,
who knows, man? You get money involved, weird shit is gonna happen. But yeah. So that's what the buys. So again, just look 3 weeks ahead. Look at defenses to target. All right, and so you're looking at the Saints now as being a defense to target on that. Let's see who else. Got the Jaguars. Are you still going to target the Panthers?
Yeah,
I guess
still going to target the Panthers.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota. I'm targeting the Panthers.
Oh my God, man! Whenever I saw him, I was like, "Wait, what year is this?"
Some people were like, "Is Jaden Daniels is he a system quarterback?" I'm like, no, he's not. Just because Marcus did so well. For those who don't know, in our fantasy league, Marcus had. Give me a second here. I will pull it up. Mariota had 20 points. Okay, he was the quarterback 6 on the week. So people are like, "Well, is Jaden Daniels a system quarterback?" No, Jaden Daniels is special. What he does is different. Marcus just happened to have Cliff Kingsbury is not like he's a bad play caller. I think he's in his element rather than being a head coach. I think he's so good as an offensive coordinator because that's all he has to do. He doesn't do all the other shit that he's not good at. All he has to do is just coach the offense, draw up his crazy schemes, and go forth with it. But that being said, Jay Daniels is a step above. So I'm not like targeting Marcus Mariota because I think Jay Daniels is going to be back. But that's why, to go back to what your initial question was, that's why I'm still targeting Carolina as far as off defenses to go against and starts of the week and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I would target them as an offense to go against as well. They threw 9 interceptions. The Raiders, one shy of the Raiders there. I mean, of course, the Chiefs have thrown, 8 interceptions, but that's a crazy stat from Mahomes. 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
That's just so weird that he's thrown that many interceptions.
Yeah. And today, I think there was like 2 or 3 of them. I mean, it was a weird turnover game, a heavy defensive battle, and things were just on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a rushing touchdown. Purdy had 2 rushing touchdowns. You know what I mean? Just a lot of ground game.
Purdy had some bad interceptions, but that Kansas City Chiefs defense is so consistent.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's scary. Like you were alluding to earlier in the show, just like their defense is so good. And I think Spags is the best. He's the best non-head coach in football.
Yeah.
Every time he takes over a defense, he's great. He's with the Giants. Guess what they did? They beat the 8. That's why they're 18-1. It's because Spags was the defensive coordinator for the Giants that year. Just a little history lesson for you all. Then he gets the head coaching job, I think, at New Orleans. I think he was the head coach at New York at one point. But he's had 2 head coaching jobs. At least I know he was at least at New Orleans. Then then Andy Reid's, when he finally got Patrick Mahomes that first year, his defensive coordinator was terrible. Then he gets Spags, and the rest is history. Now you have 3 Super Bowls, and they're going for the God tier of 3-peat that no team has ever done. So, no.
Yeah.
Purdy has it when he has his weapons. Number 1, you don't have Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Number 2, you just lost Brandon Ayuk. And number 3, Debo hasn't been healthy since Nam at this point.
Yeah.
So Purdy has it when he has the weapons to do it. Like any other player, not named Patrick Mahomes or maybe Lamar, but typically Patrick Mahomes, he has Andy Reid too. And I know Cal Shanahan's right there, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's never been Patrick Mahomes, never will be Patrick Mahomes. And he's not Lamar Jackson as far as the dynamic that he could do. He is a fine quarterback on a genius head coach offensive scheme. And when the players aren't there, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think Spags is going to be a head coach. I think Spags is done being a head coach. I don't think I think he's done.
Why would he leave Andy and the Chiefs? I mean, he's even said it. He's like, I'm good where I'm at. I like getting rings. I mean, shit, he's still got 5 more fingers to get.
It's not like the NBA where as soon as you get fired, you get another head coaching job just because it's a round robin of, hey, you're in the inner circle of finally getting a head coaching job. He's had 2 stints. I don't know if you were looking it up, but I think he's had 2 head coaching stints. Never worked out. But his defensive coordinator positions, he's always had good, solid teams.
Yeah. Rams, he was the head coach.
Rams. Okay.
2011.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. That was the only one? That was the only one?
Yeah, looks like it so far.
Okay, so he was the defensive coordinator for the Saints and the Giants, though, correct?
I expanded it, so let me look at that. Interim head coach for the Giants in 2017.
Okay, that's where I was thinking. That's what I remember.
Ravens coordinators, secondary coach.
I thought he's with the
I'm not seeing anything for New Orleans. Yeah,
I don't know who I was.
Oh, there we go. Defensive coordinator in 2012.
There we go.
New Orleans Saints. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first place he landed after he was head coach of the Rams. Yeah.
Okay. And he's been with
Bradford at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Spags started Kansas City, 5 years ago? Or 6?
2019.
2019. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5.
5. Okay.
Yep.
So, he might give it one last go. If they 3-peat this year, yes, I think Spags will be looked at. I don't think he will be hired. Obviously, Brian Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, is going to be number 1 on the list for any organization out there.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't see
surprised he didn't.
why you would. It's so much more bullshit. You got to recreate a whole system. I mean, the only thing you do it for is legacy at that point. But why not just stick around and just get more rings? I mean, like
I question that every time, but I just go with trends and just
get
how
bored.
these guys are. They just want to be a head coach.
The young guys do, but that's also why the Chiefs have been able to be so dominant. I mean, I know we're getting off a fantasy aspect right now, but seriously, that's why they've been so dominant, because everybody else is just shuffling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, we got this great combo with at Philadelphia. Then the next year after the Super Bowl, blown up.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so head coach or defensive coordinator there, offensive coordinator, boom. And then same thing with the Rams, just keep kind of losing people because he's farming out that whole system basically.
Well, the Rams is different. They literally went all in.
Oh
like
yeah,
it was all or nothing.
They got it, but
but
it just seems like everybody is just like, ooh, here's a young talent, and if you're 25, 30, 35 years old, yeah, you're probably wanting to be a head coach. But for Spags, man, what, freaking 60, 64. He's probably like, I'm good guys.
Yeah.
Like I like my, I like my weekends. I like where my life is at, and run off in the sunset and spend time with the grandkids. Shit.
All right. Here's my bold prediction for next week. The Miami Dolphins offense is going to be back. That's my bold prediction. Devon Achans of the world, Tyreek Hills of the world, maybe Jalen Waddle. I don't know yet. But I think with Tua coming back, their backs against the wall, they wouldn't put and they wouldn't let Tua play if they still didn't have hope either for the rest of the season. So that's my bold prediction. If you move Tyreek Hill, I hope you got something for him, because yesterday's price will not be next Monday's price, as long as we're not playing Monday Night Football, because I don't know how the schedule is working right now off the top of my head. But that's my bold prediction. Yeah,
and they flexed out a game too. I think they flexed the Colts into the prime spot. But
they flexed the Bears Commanders game because of Caleb and Jaden.
Yeah,
next week, so they flexed those two out of it. And your dog agrees.
I know, right?
Dolphins.
Yeah,
Dolphins next week.
I feel like may have somebody.
I know. I also kind of did that just to gain some brownie points from GIF, but also I have Achane in way too many of my 1,800 leagues that I need Achane to step the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, and so here's the thing. You're saying that they're going to do good. Do you think they're going to double their passing touchdowns that they have currently on the year?
I don't know. That's why it's a bold prediction.
It's week 7. They have 3 passing touchdowns.
Yes. Tua will go for 3 touchdowns next week.
And double their fucking season total, dude. That's wild. Yeah. They have 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Behind them is the Chargers with 5. Titans 7 touchdowns, and the Bears only 4 passing touchdowns.
Oh wow, I'm so surprised that the Chargers only have so few passing touchdowns. It's like, let's look at their offensive coordinator. Let's look at their head coach. Yep. Remember how much they passed the ball at Michigan? Oh wait, remember? And then they put Romans, who was the Ravens offensive coordinator. You know what he was? A run scheme offense, and ran bland passing routes.
Right.
Now, granted, Lamar and Derek are a different animal, and that's why the Ravens are still, I don't care how you want to paint the picture, you're still going to paint Derek and Lamar running the ball a lot. But look at Lamar's passing yards this year compared to last year or the year before that or the year before that. Don't take 2019 out of it, of those passing touchdowns. But yeah.
Greg Roman. To correct myself, sorry, the Rams. It's Rams, Dolphins, Broncos, then Raiders. For some reason, that was on the defensive side.
Oh.
So, still miserable. Great to see the Broncos and the Raiders down there. Unfortunately, the Chiefs are at number 9 with the 6 rushing touchdowns, or only 6, only 6 passing touchdowns. So, but I mean, you just look across the league. I mean, other than I mean, the only teams that have more than 10 passing touchdowns or 10 or more: Falcons, Texans, Saints, Colts, Ravens, Jets, Lions, Bills, Vikings, Bengals, Buccaneers, and Packers. Packers have the most with 17.
And Josh
Yeah.
Allen has been underwhelming for his draft value, which is, I've said that, I don't know, every other show that we've done of why we stay away from drafting quarterbacks so high. And then now people are kicking themselves and be like, oh, I should have drafted Lamar in the second round. No, I didn't say that.
No.
He went exactly where I would expect him to go, 4th and 5th round.
You know who has the most rushing yards or sorry, rushing touchdowns?
As far as team or player?
Yeah, team.
Oh, it was not the Ravens.
Mm-mm.
It's not the Packers. We already went over that one.
No.
I think. Don't tell me. Give me a second. Hold on. Give me NFC or AFC. Please give me that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No. Said NFC or AFC.
Yeah.
No, bastard. I would think the most rushing touchdowns. No, it's not the Eagles.
Same division.
No, it's not the Giants. Not the Cowboys. Oh, it's the Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders.
Yeah. No. Yeah. With the other B Robinson and Jaden Daniels. Yes, that makes sense.
And Eckert as well. I mean, Eckert has a few to help in there too. But no. So that's. It's just kind of a weird world to see the Commanders being productive. But right behind
they look solid, man. Solid. I don't care if it's the Carolina Panthers. They look solid.
Yeah, no, they're
shout out to Dan Quinn of getting that staff and that ownership. Shout out to Washington getting that so right so quickly.
Yeah, they did a great job. So they cleaned house there, but I mean, and kind of going through this, I mean, you're looking at the teams and you may have recency bias, or I mean, to me, like 2000 bias. Like I still look back and I'm like, they're a terrible team. They're the Bengals. They suck. And it's like, oh no, they're actually a good team. So don't go off of what you feel like they are. Go off of what you know they are. And the only way you're going to know is if you dig into these stats. So, the sleeper app's only going to show you so much. Fantasy sites as well. I mean, just go to NFL.com, dig through the stats, and just get some of that context for yourself. That way, you're just kind of making your own, listening to your own intuition, making your own decision, kind of on some of that stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, Panthers still going to target the shit out of them. The Raiders, to me, I mean, Raiders and the Saints are at the top of the list right now because they are in shambles as an organization. I mean, Bowers may be their number one receiver and get production, but Aiden O'Connell going out, so they're going to be putting back in Minshew, right? So
I don't care who's throwing it. Brock Bowers going to be open.
Yeah, he'll be open, but he's not going to be able to save the game. And and at best maybe a couple of scores, but I mean realistically probably just one score and 80 yards kind of average. But definitely a good one to target because they got quarterback woes and quarterback woes throw interceptions.
Yes,
and you got to love that as a defense. One defense that actually is a little bit better than just probably the rest of the team is the Saints. So they're allowing quite a bit, but they are taking away a lot. So whenever you're looking at a defense, how do you balance that scale of points allowed, but then also turnovers?
Yeah, and that's why also, I mean, it's weird, but Green Bay takeaways are awesome. Consistency, if you can, especially with their division, I'm targeting the Houston Texans based on that division that they're in. I'm totally targeting them because they're going to at least play the Titans, Colts, and Jaguars another time. So you got at least 3 games where they're probably going to have the best team on the field, much less the best defense. So it's only a matter. So I would target them. maybe the Eagles, just because I don't know. I'm staying away from that. I will stay away as much as but the Minnesota, it's so weird. The NFC North is just so gosh damn good. Because I'm like, oh, target Minnesota, but they play the Packers and the Bears and it's just like shit. And then like, oh, target the Packers, but they also play the Lions and the Vikings and the Bears. Like it's just Vikings.
Yeah, the North is incredible. In the West, not that good.
Not that good.
Not that good. I mean, the East is still the least.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud.
Because I was watching that Rams-Raiders game, and I'm just like, okay, we're still playing. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because that's one. I mean, that's another offense, possibly a target. I mean, depending on the matchup and, look at the injury situations too. But I mean, the Rams, I mean, they did very well. I mean, Kyron ran all over the place. And they had a good end around run in as well. But
all right,
this is back, baby, and I'm excited for it. I just
in the chat bring that up. That's probably the question of the night now.
Yeah, for real. And with this just happening,
because Mike Evans just went out the hamstring. We don't know the severity of it. Obviously, Godwin's out for the season. They air casted him. I don't know exactly what it was. Probably an ankle or I don't know. Just get better, Godwin.
Yep.
So, looking at it, who you would target? It's two guys. We're gonna moneyball this thing. We're gonna 3 ball players. We're gonna anyway. No, it's Sterling Shepard and Jalen McMillan. Those are the two that come. Sterling Shepard mainly would probably be the number one target. Jalen McMillan because he's the rookie. So one of those two.
Yep.
If you're desperate and need a replacement, you're not going to replace Chris Godwin or Mike Evans, and Mike Evans is not done for the season. Number one, that we know of. We haven't heard him reports. He went out with a hamstring, but again, hamstrings could be 2 weeks or the whole damn season. Chris Godwin air cast. That's he's done. So, but those are the two that I would target is Sterling Shepard and Jalen McMillan.
Yeah. Sterling Shepard's a great one because him and Baker played in college. So they're both Oklahoma boys. Sterling, though, kind of struggled staying healthy there in New York when he was with the Giants. And honestly, I think he just kind of struggled overall. I don't know if maybe it's just the system or the quarterback kind of situation, but one you're forgetting, man, is tight end, Kate Otten. Tight end is probably going to be fairly reliable because
I was looking at wide receivers, not
in situations, they're the ones breaking off the block.
Yep.
The quick dump off 5 to 10 yard and probably doing that at least, 5-10 times a game. So
great point.
See targets go up.
Great point. Yeah. I was just looking at wide receivers. I wasn't looking at the tight end position. So great point.
And
that's actually, especially for as bad as the tight end position has been across the board, that might be the number one pickup for the Buccaneers at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Because even just in this game, he got 10 targets.
Yeah. Great point. Great point.
So on the year, he's actually increased. So starting with week 1, 2 to 8, 9 was against the Eagles. Then 4 and 6, and then recently 10. So got 10 targets, got 8 receptions for 100 yards, but it had 1 fumble tonight. But whenever you're struggling against a stout team in the Ravens, I mean, honestly, it's going to be another AFC championship probably between the Ravens and the Chiefs at this point. And it's in garbage time. You got 2 of your receivers out. You feel like everything's against you. So, that fumble, that sucks, but don't hold it against him. Even though he's not holding the ball against him like he should. Hey.
Right.
But yeah. And Shepard, it's going to be there. It's going to uptick, but I feel like out of those two, McMillan will probably grow maybe to be a little bit of the better one just because of his age. So I think his separation speed is probably going to be a lot better than Shepard, but Shepard's probably just been doing a lot of the crossing routes while McMillan's trying to take the top off.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The kicker, pick up the kicker.
Pick up the kicker.
Pick up that kicker. Pick up Uncle Laughlin, man, because they're probably going to be kicking a lot more field goals. Kind of depending on it, but they got Rashawn White back.
Sorry, I was looking at the chat. Camilo, no.
Oh no! Oh no! What do we got?
No.
Should I trade Jonathan Taylor for MHJ?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
If that's who you're alluding to, then no.
Yeah, my running backs Saquon, Hunt, Kenneth Walker, Taylor, and Chubb. I mean, yeah, you got a great core, dude.
You can find a better
Mhm.
receiver to trade Jonathan Taylor for. That's why I'm saying no. I'm not saying you
Yeah.
shouldn't move Jonathan Taylor. I'm saying you should move him for someone better than what Marvin Harrison Jr. is doing right now.
Yeah, that's so that yes, I mean let's explore that though, because part of that is not okay, like straight up, it's not value to value, but what is that line, right?
Mhm.
So for Taylor, what's a comparable, wide receiver? So he's saying, Devontae Smith, you got Devontae Smith back. Yeah, Zay Flowers, Higgins did pretty good today. But yeah, I mean it kind of mid in that tier, I should say. Oh, sorry, I got to take my filter off. I had my filter on the Buccaneers.
If you're going to talking rookie wide receivers, I would trade Jonathan Taylor for Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah,
if you're going to do a rookie receiver.
That's a good question, though. So, in that league, are you talking about dynasty or are you talking about redraft? And then also, how many teams are in your league? Because those are big factors as far as maybe who's even on waivers. Where, of course, you don't want to drop Jonathan Taylor. You want to get some value out of it. But if you're in a dynasty, you may just look at getting a pick for that, and then picking up wide receivers off of waivers. Redraft 10-man
PPR.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin. Freaking Terry McLaurin.
That's a good one.
Terry McLaurin, or if you're trying to do like another rookie that I know you can get, you might be able to get Brian Thomas without Jonathan Taylor.
What about Keon Coleman?
Not. He's not there yet. I like where he's going. I like where he's going now that Amari's there.
Cooper's going to demand a lot of attention.
I like where Keon's spot is now.
Yeah.
But I would Terry McLaurin. See if you can sneak that. Sell it. You can sell that if you need him to move, because you already have with Saquon, Hunt, and Kenneth Walker. You really you can move him, especially if Chubb is going to be even remotely as good as Chubb's going to be. Yeah, I would say Terry McLaurin is probably who you could. Obviously, you can shoot for the moon, see if you can get someone better than that. Like a Drake. I mean, hell, you can get Drake London, but like Justin Jefferson, Jaden Reed, DK got banged up, but Terry is the dude for Washington. He's been Mr. Consistency for the past 3 weeks. So that is who I am looking at. I mean, he literally, even in a low, since week 3, dude's been consistent. So
that's the other factor I'm looking at too is, Taylor coming back off of injury, hopefully this next week, right? Being out 2 weeks before that, he had gotten 19.8 points, 26, 15, 10. But I mean, at this point, do you try to trade off the name, or do you wait a week to kind of see some production to solidify a little bit of value for that trade?
I think Jonathan's still going to be great when he comes back. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, if he's wanting, if you want to move him, and because if you wait till next week and then Jonathan Taylor does really well, then no, not Cup. I like where your head's at, but again, what have we seen from Cooper Kupp this year, other than being on the injured list?
You do. Yeah, Camilo Garcia, you do have a lot of good running backs.
Yes, you do have a lot of good running backs.
Yeah.
I would see if I can move.
Yeah,
I know you can't start them all. Shoot for the stars. Hell, just try and do Jonathan Taylor for Jamar Chase. If not, move down the list. Justin Jefferson. Drake London's having a really good year. You can even, Drake London. See if you can move for Drake London. I know you can get I know you can probably get Jonathan Taylor. You can move Jonathan Taylor for Drake London. I know you can do that.
Yeah, London looked pretty good in the last game, even though
I just for some reason like Terry McLaurin going forward.
Yeah. Well, I'm a more solid quarterback right now.
Right.
I mean, Kirk is kind of all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
he had incredible weeks, and then where he goes for 500 yards, and
Yeah.
then he shits the bed.
That's just my gut is I would shoot for Terry McLaurin. I think he's a better receiver than Drake London, and he is definitely the number one target for Washington.
Yeah.
going
What's your
forward.
record right now, Camilo? I wonder what the record is, because
Yeah.
if he's sitting, pretty high, maybe letting some things kind of filter through. But I mean, if you're in the middle of the pack, you're probably looking at, hey, I need to get a win in, so you can say, 5-2. I mean, it's a good spot right there, man.
I would just try him. If you're going to move him, I would move him for Jamar, Justin Jefferson in that order. Yeah, I would literally put 4 trades out there. I don't know if they're these 4 players might be on the same team. I don't know, but I would literally fire 4 trades out there at the exact same time. Okay, Jonathan Taylor being involved with all of them, because like you said, you already have a bunch of them. So I would, instead of just going to one guy, then no. The next thing you know, the scuttlebutt gets around. They know you're trying to move Jonathan Taylor, and then you can get real into the weeds. So I would just fire off 4 trades all at once. One for Jamar Chase, one for Justin Jefferson, the other for Drake London, and the other for Terry McLaurin. See who bites. Just put multiple fishing rods out there in the water. See what starts to nibble. Jonathan Taylor being the bait. And if you get Jamar Chase, you're golden. If you get Justin Jefferson, you're right there with Jamar Chase. And then Drake London and Terry McLaurin, you're still swimming in the aisle of consistency. Especially if you have too many running backs. And I'm pretty sure whoever owns those 4 players that I just said will definitely bite at that Jonathan Taylor. Unless they're just thinking just because he got injured for a couple of weeks that he's not going to be Jonathan Taylor when he comes back.
And also, do some research too. Just Google fantasy trade calculator.
Yep.
Rototrade.com has a pretty good one.
Trade
Another one I like
Sit.
is Pro Football Network. Yep. Yeah. The one you sent is actually a dynasty one.
You can switch it from a dynasty to a different. You can switch around the different leagues that you're in. It's just not just dynasty.
Okay.
I played around with it.
Yeah. Okay. One of my favorites is probably Pro Football Network. It seems like they update their rankings a little bit better than some of the other ones, like the Fantasy Calculator or the Fantasy SP or something like that. But yeah. I like that idea.
Your friends don't like winning. Just tell them that. That's exactly what you tell them. Be like, you don't like winning. Yeah. I like your logo, by the way, Camilla. We're on this of just under. Yeah. Hey, guess what? You start out 5-2. Guess what's going to happen? You're probably going to lose the first round of the playoffs against the Packers. Which you do every gosh damn year.
Talking about the Cowboys, not you.
Yeah. No. Every Cowboy fan does the same thing. I fight my tooth and nail to get into the playoffs in fantasy, and somehow or another go against a Packer fan. We get killed.
Yeah. Well, we are sitting at just a little bit over an hour. Josh, is there anything you want to kind of work through or kind of help out with before we start to wrap up?
No, I just with we're not making the playoffs, Camillo. Come on, man. If we do, it'd be a glorious achievement for no one, because I'm ready to move.
McCarthy would be able to work through that shit. I mean, that's coach of the year.
Yeah, he can't manage time, much less figuring out how to get around from what we're at.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, no here, no there. No. Obviously, injuries keep stacking. We had one heartbreaker tonight with Godwin. We told you 3.
Evans, man. Evans gonna be out for a while if it's hamstring like that.
Yeah. And Evans with a hamstring. So just target those guys. I mean, just take a flyer on them. You have to look at. I always say this because, like a Josh Downs, for example, I was sitting there talking to. I was like, look at my roster, and like, when did you pick up Josh Downs? I said, when Joe Flacco started. That's when I picked up Josh Downs. So it's like Jameis. That's why I was brought about the Browns. Look, if Jameis is the Jameis that we think he's going to be, at least fantasy-wise, I think at least one receiver is going to do what's up, hey, good? So I think at least one receiver is worth at least looking at to see if Jameis is named starter. If it's DTR, then or DRT, sorry. If it's DRT, then no. Hey, I'm a Cowboys fan. The only non-clown here is the person that has a quarterback that throws more interceptions and touchdowns and is 6-0.
Hey, man, it's upside down, man. It's a weird world.
Yeah, it's a weird world. But yeah, no, that's the thing is look at injuries. Just really focus on team reports. Use Twitter, whatever you need to do. Look at team reports to see who the next man up is. It's not going to be like, oh, this guy's the next man up. He's totally going to win. He's only going to win by week. I don't know about that, but that's what I would focus on is how are the injuries impacting the team, and then who's the next man up, and then take a flyer on them. It might work.
Yep. I agree. I do like that idea of actually like throwing out like 4 trades.
Yeah.
If you just kind of fire selling it. First come, first serve. That way you're just getting some value, and then you're not really filling your headspace with the potentialities of what could or couldn't happen with that.
Right.
Get some value out of it, move on, and then work with what you got.
Yeah.
But man. I mean, 10-person league. I mean, it's a redraft, so you don't need to keep these players throughout the whole season. So really look at that waiver wire. You may have some value that is there right now. God bless, man. Yeah, it's just a rough night for Buck fans. I mean, so much promise. I mean, Baker Mayfield's hot, and they got White back, and they're just moving, man. It just really sucks. Especially since we both have them. Yeah, Godwin and I had Evans. Man.
And now I'm freaking Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson's, and I don't know what to do anymore, man. I don't know what to do. I just lost Godwin for the season. I don't know what to do with Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson on the same gosh damn team. I'm Puka Nakupa Cup like I was last year. Yeah. So it's just...
You want Marvin Harrison Jr.?
No.
Please?
No.
Please?
No. I was like double checking.
It's too high value for me to just drop.
Camilo, thank you for bringing that up because I double checked the box score of what Marvin Harrison Jr. did tonight, and I think he had a gentleman's 21 yards.
So bad, so fucking bad, man.
3 catches of 21 yards. Why are you going to try? What tells you you're supposed to trade Jonathan Taylor? I don't care if it's coming off injury. Oof. What production is going to increase in Marvin Harrison Jr. that Jonathan Taylor isn't going to just breeze past? In 1 week.
Yeah.
Especially with a quarterback that doesn't know how to throw the ball except for 60 yards.
What, are you saying he's more of a running back?
We're not getting to that one.
Hey, I say that because we love running backs and we love you all. So here one more time for your viewing pleasure, our love and our ode to running backs.
Mr. Huff, Mr. Jenner is ready for your interview.
Actually, we'll be interviewing as a team. We're here to fuck shit up.
I've been rapping like Barrymore. Hold up, let me reset. Living in the matrix, use the sequence. I cracked the code, popped out the subnet. Walk around like I found a 20, that's a dubstep. Living in the moment, did you notice that ain't up yet? You can put the pressure on me, I ain't dropping one sweat. Used to be stressed hard, beating like a drum set. Breathe, stretch, let it go. Everybody need a refresh, go. Yeah. Come on, let's go. I don't know what comes in, but I couldn't care less. I refuse to feel stressed. There's no fear with my chest. Here to move with my steps. Walk away from the pain I've been through. This feeling I'm feeling is brand new. This is the moment I break through.
Yeah, that's right. This moment we break through, and we did it, man. We broke through. We
broke through
tonight.
All technical difficulties aside.
Yeah, all technical difficulties be damned. But yeah, for Josh, I'm Tvshka. We appreciate you guys for watching. Definitely be watching other shows. We got Wrap It Up on Wednesday night, right? You got Game News tomorrow night. Then Thursday, I'm jumping on completely out of order. I'm going to
don't matter.
Thursday night, you got Ruckus Wrestling. We also have some other shows kind of in the works. So let us know if you actually want to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the link below. Join the Discord. It is absolutely free. You can hang out with us in there, and we got different channels for a lot of different interests. So for fantasy, I mean, it's meme heavy, and it is gorgeous because there's so much good memes, man. Especially Trump serving McDonald's. There's gonna be so much good stuff coming out of that one, for sure. But definitely follow us at everywhere at Ruckus Entertainment and Variety. And you guys have been beautiful. Like and subscribe. We'll see you. Talk to our lawyer. He's in the chat. We out of here.
Thank y'all so much.